Good afternoon, guys. This is Jen Moore with VeloReviews.com, and I'm here with Brian with BH Bikes. How you doing, Brian?
Good, thanks. Enjoying the show.
Very nice weather today.
Fantastic weather. Couldn't ask for better.
Great. And today Brian's going to talk to us about the flagship bike, the G5, the BH.
The BH G5, Bestigi Hermanos G5, the Bestigi Brothers is what BH stands for. So the G5 features a BB30 bottom bracket, which has become pretty much industry standard. Along with that, we've got an 1.5 inch bearing in the bottom that tapers up to 1 1/8 inch. Edge Composites there's a logo on the inside of the front fork. Edge Composites co-opted with us on the development of that fork. If you take a look at the frame itself, the bottom bracket areas, we've got a very beefy bottom bracket area. Also very tall chain stays, very, very stiff and firm in the bottom, but yet very forgiving, very comfortable ride. Another thing that we feature is the integrated seat mast, which we were actually the first company to do the integrated seat mast in 2003 or 4. The difference between our seat mast versus Ridley or Giant or Time is all of theirs are cut to fit. Our mast is not a cut to fit. It's actually integrated, and you've got a 170 millimeter seat post, so you've got quite a bit of adjustability. Another key feature of the G5 is the carbon molded cable stops. The biggest difference here is it's actually a slotted carbon cable stop, which is a pretty unique feature found only on our bike.
Very cool. And who's riding your BH bikes these days?
Right now there's a couple of continental European teams. Jaco Galacia is a Spanish team, and there's another Spanish continental team that's also riding it. The name of that team kind of slips my mind. But those two teams over in Europe. Here in California, California Pools is riding it. There's also a team on the East Coast called NYC Velo. They're also riding the G5s domestically for us.
Very nice. And how is it going on the retail side of things?
The retail side of things have been pretty unreal. This is going on our 4th year in the U.S. Versus last year, we had probably 2 or 3 times more dealers come on board this year. Several dealers that have come on board specifically for the G5, but other bikes in our lineup have gotten some nice accolades as well. So we're pretty excited. Over the past 8 months, our numbers have really begun to grab some serious momentum, which is pretty crazy because in the U.S. there are so many strong, good brands, and for us to finally get our foot in the door and kind of get a little notoriety has really made a lot of people in BH Spain plus the BH USA very, very happy.
Very nice, and I'm happy to report that BH also has a women's-specific bike, the Crystal. If we can pull one out.
So the women's Crystal. This particular bike is kind of a diamond in the rough, so to speak. It has recently gotten some nice reviews. There was a great review in Bicycling, and there was a great review in Road Bike Action, which gave us some pretty big kudos and put us on the map in the women's market, which we have slowly but surely begun to once again grab our place in that market share. The biggest difference between this versus the G5 is the frame is actually a tube-to-tube construction frame. It's not a monocoque construction similar to the G5. You do not have an integrated seat mast. You have a standard seat post. One unique feature of the Cristal is the top tube is a very, very slender top tube that tapers down in a super, super narrow area where women, whenever they stand up to climb or they stand up to sprint, they tend to hit their legs on the inside of the post or in the inside of the top tube on the inside of their leg. So this kind of alleviates that problem. So the bike is very lively. Whenever women ride it, they're surprised at the responsiveness of whenever the bike accelerates. When they stand up and pedal, the bike just goes forward. There's actually a woman that rides. She's a test rider for Road Bike Action. She owns one of these now. This has become her personal bike. After she did the test ride, she was like, I've got to have one. So now that's her personal bike. So this bike is a pretty exciting little bike for women. There's a guy who works inside with us. He actually spent about a month on one. Even though it's a women's bike, he's about 5'9", but he rode the 55 centimeter and just absolutely loved it. He was pretty blown away by the bike itself.
And what are the sizes available?
We went away from numerical sizing. Whenever women were hearing the numbers, they were typically thinking the bike was too big. Numerically, it's a 51, 53, 55, but we went to an extra small, a small, and a medium. Our 51 will actually... This is a 51, will accommodate a rider about 5 foot, and you've got big wheels, the 700C wheel instead of a 650 wheel, which women that have to typically ride a really small bike usually have to go to a smaller wheel, so that's a pretty big bonus for them as well.
Very cool. A friend of mine and we came out on our team ride. We had a demo ride down at Bike Improve in Santa Monica, and a week later she bought one, and she's been very pleased with it.
She's one of many, but it's usually whenever a woman gets to throw a leg over it and ride it, they're immediately hooked. I mean, it's a fantastic bike.
I think I might have to throw a leg over one of these very soon. Thank you very much,
Absolutely.
Brian.
Thanks for your
time.
time.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Thank you. Bye-bye.